Okay, what I want to show here is drilling out a backplate spinner. This is a meshlic backplate, which is almost $100, along with the cone, which is almost $100. So you don't want to make a mistake here. So what I do, the prop here is already drilled. I put the prop hub washer on here, put the bolts in. The center of the prop is drilled, of course. So I put a drill bit in here to center this. Then I put a drop of medium CA here on both sides and just hit it with kicker just to hold this super close in place. Then I put a drill bit up through the bottom of the spinner to keep that hole centered. And then what I'm going to do is place this on top of that whole assembly in the next step. So now what I do, excuse me, is take a tiny bit. I took the prop off here and I put a tiny bit of CA, thick CA, and hit it with kicker to like glue the prop to the back plate, just a hair. There's no way you're going to put a drill bit through here and not have something shift a hair. So you just pull it, it'll break right off later. So then when this is glued on here, again, temporarily, and then what you do then is just simply put on your spinner, and as you can see here, the holes, everything lines up perfectly. Everything lines up perfectly. You take the spinner off, and then I'll even leave these bolts in and run a bit through these two holes first. But you have to tack this in. There's no way it's not going to shift a little bit, and it doesn't matter, it'll just break right off there later. So that's the next step, is to drill. And is inside there. So now you can take the wood block off. Okay, the wood block was taken off temporarily. The drill bit was taken out. You can see the pin in the bottom and the one hole drilled. Now simply, this again won't move on here. And if we double check, I believe nothing has moved in the drilling process, but if we just quickly pop this on here, you can see we still have perfect clearance. So again, and this is tacked on here, but it really doesn't matter now because the pin is there. So you can either put your drill jig back on, or just simply drill through the front plate, either one. So time to drill out the rest of the holes. The prop nut or prop washer. And I'll use the drill jig. The pin is in there. The screws are in the holes that are already drilled. Just continue to drill through here. Don't forget to have a piece of wood so you don't have any rough edges on the aluminum. If you can see here, if it's drilled out properly, there's nothing to even fine tune on this. So drill out the rest of your holes. Okay, now you can see just how perfect everything lines up. Now you want to take, these were 5mm. These were 5mm holes. The holes in the prop are 5.2 millimeters. These now, you don't want to open up the prop any more than 5.2 millimeters. But the back plate, we're going to open up to 5.5 millimeters. That's going to give it a little bit, you know, a little, so the bolts going in here aren't so tight. You want to be able to move it a little bit. So you open these up to 5.5. That's the next task. Get everything together like this. Back plate, you can see the mark I made on here, which lines up with the prop and the spinner, just as an extra guide. So get all the bolts in here and then push it on here and just start slowly, make sure everything seats correctly. Okay, now I just put the bolts in here, 5mm. And the bolts, when I first tested it just to see, to verify, yes, trying to put the bolts in, you couldn't move this at all. And if you tried to put the bolts through here, you'd probably either strip this or wear the bolts down, or possibly strip the hub, which is probably about $150. So these went in like butter. I mean, I could actually take my wrench in here and use my fingers and tighten them. So again, just to verify now, slide your prop on, and as you can see, holes line up, and if I rotate this, you can see the clearance here and there. It's perfect. It is perfect. And what I do, I don't know how critical it is, but excuse me, before I actually took this prop off the back plate that I tacked on it with CA, I make a little line with marker on both of these, which will always stay there, meaning, okay, line the prop up with those. It's probably not super critical, but it makes me feel better. So that is on there perfect. Okay, as you can see, came out great. Not sure if you can see the spacing, but perfect spacing here, spacing on top. So it just came out gorgeous. Came out gorgeous. Really came out gorgeous. Meshlick spinner, Meshlick prop. I'm just so happy with the way it came out. Looks great. Again, you're talking, you know, start to finish, measuring, getting blocks and everything properly, I guess including drilling the prop, you're probably talking a good 2 hours maybe, plus or minus, to get everything laid out, you know, measure 100 times, drill once. So hope this helps people. I didn't really have a whole lot of guidance to drill out the back plate, so this is how I did it, and it works out great. So hope it helps.